I'm waiting on YouTube to do its thing, so hold on, guys. Does my sound good? We good? All right, we are up and running. I'm excited, guys. I am super excited. You notice anything different? Finally got my T-shirt. I'm wearing the gold one tonight, but I also have the blue one. So I'm pretty excited about it. Our merchandise store is up and running. We got some good stuff over there. I had to get me some T-shirts. How's everybody doing so far? Usually, I changed my live shows from Saturday nights to Friday nights. Well, Friday, my son had an impromptu baseball game, and I had to do a live show with Mark Rogers, so I had to move this one to today. And the Patreon live show has been push because of my son's baseball games. Apparently, there were supposed to be 3 teams for the city that we live in, and they consolidated it down to 2 teams, but not before they put out a schedule for 3 teams. So the 2 teams grabbed extra games from the 3rd team that doesn't exist. So he had 3 games in 4 days. 3 games in 4 days, and he's 7 years old, guys. 7 years old. So I was not expecting that. Hey, what do y'all think about the T-shirt, guys? Y'all give me some comments on that. I like it. I'm surprised, pleasantly surprised, because you never know what you're going to get from these providers. Sometimes it's great merchandise, sometimes it's absolute crap. So you never know until you get it. I got it. I'm super happy, and I will be wearing this a lot for my videos. A lot. So if you want your golden Bluetooth T-shirt, head on over to the merchandise store whenever you get the chance after the live show tonight. Not just T-shirts, bunch of stuff. I don't even have enough time to go through it. Millis Vanillis is here. David Jones, Will Klein, Jay Glizzy, 1999. Yvette Stowers Foster. Let's run through this real quick, guys. Hold on. This laptop is so slow when it comes to looking at comments. All right, let's scroll up a little bit. Man, a lot of people came right off the bat, so my comments kind of blew up. All right, from the top, we have Christian, Evan Ames, J.R. Falls. That's a new name. I'm sorry if I don't recognize your name, but I haven't seen you comment it in a while, if you have. So welcome, Ballard Sports Media. Yeah, Ballard, I did get the message on Twitter. I will give you an answer later today or tomorrow. I've just been really busy. Ryan McCullich, great Oklahoma subscriber we have over here. Let's see. Did I miss anybody yet? I think I said Will Klein. I'll say it again. Will Klein, Julian Smith, James Ellis. Think I'm caught up. Let me go all the way down, make sure we're good. And Cam Harrison, Brandon Lee, Raj in the house. Haven't seen you in a while, man. Is this another clickbait stream? No, it's not. I actually do have some big news. Well, the first big news was finally got my merchandise stuff in. Very excited about that. And I'm going to be doing a collaboration with Wholesome One Holloway. If you don't know who that is, he is a Miami YouTuber. We're going to collaborate with him. I've already collaborated with Hurricane T2Y in the past. Also, some live shows and pre-recorded with Coach Coop, one of the bigger Miami YouTube channels out there. I'm going to reach out to Uncle Lou again, see if he wants to do something. So a lot of collaborating is about to go down. So that's the biggest news, is the collaboration. I've already done something with Kuz's Corner. I'll get him back on here. And there's also another West Virginia YouTube channel, Country Roads. I'm going to get him on here as well. So our live shows are going to be booked with some guests. So I'm excited about that. I see you, Andre King, in the chat. Tim Hall, He says, love the shirt. Me too, man. I am loving this merchandise. Don K, Tony Toka Toto. Did I say that right? Tony Toka Toto. That is a tongue twister, but I love it. It's either Tony Toka Toto or Tony Toka Toto. Toto. One of those has to be correct, but I love the screen name. That's some awesome stuff right there. I did a video today on Notre Dame and oh my gosh. I didn't realize how messy of a breakup that was. It's literally like high school whenever somebody breaks up with somebody and they're jealous of them, so they start talking trash. Hopefully they'll come back to me or, whatever. And then the person that broke up with them, they go over to their new boyfriend, girlfriend, whoever it is, and start talking crap about their old boyfriend, girlfriend. That's how childish this breakup has been. Unbelievable. And then good old Ed Orgeron, which I found out apparently is friends with Marcus Freeman, the new head coach of Notre Dame. He decides to go over to a spring practice just for the heck of it and say that Marcus Freeman has a team that will win a national championship. A lot of drama going on at Notre Dame. And whenever I posted that video in my ACC Facebook groups, the title that I put up there was the ACC should distance themselves from Notre Dame ASAP. Not just for that reason, though. There's a bunch of reasons why the ACC needs to distance themselves from Notre Dame, but that was another reason. Notre Dame needs to join a conference. That's the bottom line. You need to join a conference. That NBC TV deal isn't going to, be the thing you can fall back on forever. You're going to have to join a conference sooner or later. Might as well do it now and stop having a back and forth with Brian Kelly. He's gone. Let it go. Focus on your current coaching staff. I have Notre Dame going 8-4 this year because I do think it will be an adjustment for Notre Dame. And I got a lot of Notre Dame fans saying, no, we have a lot of talent. That's not going to happen. I'm sorry. Whenever there's a coaching change, even if it's a handoff, like they were saying, it's going to take a toll, guys. It's going to take a toll. And I think their schedule is actually a little bit tougher than what it usually is. Check this out, guys. Notre Dame, whenever they addressed the Brian Kelly situation, they said they literally helped Brian Kelly schedule a soft schedule so he could have a lot of success. That's what Notre Dame said. Hey, they're just saying what we all know, but they finally came out and say it. Notre Dame admitted that they schedule soft. Now, the reason that they said it was because Brian Kelly was a, not so great coach, and, they wanted him to have success at Notre Dame. I have never seen anything so childish at Notre Dame. All right, I had to get that out of my system. Let's talk about West Virginia just for a minute. Of course, we got JT Daniels. That's going to be a big boost, and the only reason that we got JT Daniels was because of Graham Harrell. Huge hire, and I told y'all that was a huge hire. Now we picked up the 4-star linebacker Josiah Trotter for the 2023. So West Virginia is also on the up and up, and I think my official prediction is now 10-2. It was 8-4. I think 8-4 would be, not a good season. I think 8-4 would be good enough for Neil Brown to keep his job, but I think that's, lower expectations. I think a 10-win season is and should be the expectation. That's just my opinion. We addressed all the issues. And a lot of West Virginia fans are jumping on me saying, one man doesn't solve everything. You are absolutely correct. You are absolutely correct. And that's not what I was saying. Every problem that West Virginia did have, we addressed it. And that's why I bumped the prediction up to 10-2. Okay, let's see. Yeah, don't forget to smash the like button. It's easy, simple, fast, and free. And what that does for people that don't know what's going on with the like button, when you hit the like button, it hits that YouTube algorithm and it gets this video suggested more. And the video gets suggested more, and more people come, hang out in the chat, and the video grows. So I can do everything that I can, but the rest is up to you. So in order for us to grow this video, I really need you to hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. If you don't like me, that's fine. That's fine. Hit the thumbs down. That helps as well. So if you could help me out, I would appreciate it. It's simple, fast, and free, and it helps a lot. I know it seems too simple to help, but I promise you it helps. Yvette posted the PayPal link. Every donation that we get through PayPal right now goes towards getting us a P.O. box. so that my subscribers can send a mini helmet to represent their team. It'll go on my shelving and be a part of my background forever. Now, that's not permanent shelving. We're going to come up with a kind of a 3D effect of shelving to where, everything will be in shot. But for now, it'll work. We'll elevate it and show everybody's favorite team's mini helmet. So I can't wait for that. Yvette posted the link for that. Excited about that. And trust me, Joey and Michael Walker both have put a lot of time and effort into the website. So go check it out. We have eight writers, and our lead writer is Michael Walker, and I'm pretty excited. But I can't get over this merchandise. This is some good stuff. Some good stuff, guys. All right, so I wanted to run a video idea by you guys because y'all are the ones that watch Gold and Blue. I can guess, this could be a good video, maybe that. And for the most part, they hit, pretty well. But sometimes maybe you'll come up with a stinker idea. So I wanted to run this idea by you guys and see what you think. So tomorrow, I'm thinking about putting out a video. What's the next state or states that's going to have a school that's going to acquire Power 5 status? All right, we already know Houston's going to the Big 12, but Texas already has like 4 or 5 Power 5 schools. All right, Cincinnati, but Ohio, they already have Ohio State. That's a Power 5. UCF, the state of Florida already has 3 Power 5. And then BYU, state of Utah already has Utah. So we can't really count those states because they already have them. Here's the list of states that do not have a Power 5 school. And I wanted to figure out who has the best chance of getting the next Power 5 school. And I don't mean like acquiring, current schools being bumped up to Power 5 status. Here are the states. We have Alaska. Not going to happen, guys. The travel would be too brutal, and the school is just too small up there. That's not going to happen. Connecticut's very interesting because they do have UConn, and UConn was in the Big East, and they decided to go independent, and they've fallen straight into the toilet. So Connecticut is a possibility, but I wouldn't say a high probability. Possible, but not probable. Then we have Delaware. Both of their schools, Delaware and Delaware State FCS, I don't see that happening anytime soon. The state of Hawaii, they have a group of 5 school, the Warriors, but I mean, I don't know how close they would be to getting Power 5 status. I don't see that happening, especially with travel. I guess their biggest chance would be the Pac-12, I guess, maybe. I just don't see it happening. Sorry, Hawaii. And then the next state, I'm going alphabetically, by the way. Next state, and this was Christian in the comments section, what Christian said, Idaho. Yes, I do agree that Idaho has a pretty good chance of getting a Power 5 school. Boise State. I think Boise State, I do think the Big 12 could be the future home of Boise State. Probably not the Pac-12 because the Pac-12 is more of an academic situation, and Boise State just doesn't have the academics. And there's a lot of other political things that go into that. Main reason why the Pac-12 wouldn't take BYU, same situation. And then you add in the religious aspect for BYU. So Boise State, yes, out of the state of Iowa, but not to the Pac-12, maybe to the Big 12. That would be their best bet. The next state that doesn't have a school in the Power 5, Maine. That's just not going to happen. Maine has an FCS, and they have not been building their resume. Sorry, Maine, not going to happen. Next state, Montana. Very interesting. You have Montana State. No, not going to happen. But Montana has been really, really good in the FCS. But do they have the audience? Do they have the money? Montana does not have a very big population. Their fan base, not big at all either. I think their stadium holds like 35,000. So their chances of going to the Pac-12, 0. They don't meet the academic requirements and the Tier 1 research, I believe. I just don't think it would happen in the Pac-12. Big 12, maybe a Montana-Boise State combination, but they would really have to grow their brand if they want any chance of getting into the Big 12. But they have been, the point is with Montana, they have been making some noise. Owen wants to know what's the big news. Let me go over it again. First of all, merchandise. I got my t-shirts. Very excited about that. Wearing the yellow, and I got the blue one as well. And then to go on to that, on from that, I'm collaborating with Wholesome One Holloway. He's a Miami YouTuber. He's got over 5,000 subscribers. Hurricane T2Y, I'm going to get back on the ball with him. I think he has over 8,000 subscribers. I'm going to reach out to Uncle Lou again and try to collaborate with him. Coach Coop, I know for a fact that we will be doing collaboration with Coach Coop. He has a busy schedule, so we're going to work that out. So the big news was all the collaborations and the merchandise store. Let's continue with the list alphabetically. The next state, Nevada. You know, Nevada, that they've been improving their stock. They really have. I don't think UNLV has a chance. So if there is a school out of the state of Nevada that has a chance of being bumped up to Power 5 status, I would say it would be the Nevada Wolfpack. I don't think they would be able to enter the Pac-12, though. Same reasons for Boise State and BYU. But the Big 12 might be interested in Nevada in the future. They're already grabbing BYU, and Nevada's only one state over. That's an eyebrow raiser. I don't know, if they're compared side to side with, say, a Montana. I do think Nevada would win the nod over a Montana. But Boise State, or what about bringing Boise State and Nevada into the Big 12? That's not a bad combo. But I do think in order for those two teams to get in the Big 12, the Big 12 would need one more bigger brand to feel good about that. It's kind of like whenever they brought in BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston. Well, all those names are pretty good, but BYU was the catalyst that got everybody in. BYU was the brand. You put BYU in with Cincinnati, with Houston, and with UCF, that's pretty decent. And I think it almost levels out losing Texas and Oklahoma. But those are some massive brands. That remains to be seen. All right, after Nevada, we have New Hampshire. No chance. No chance. The schools are small, and they do not bring any money. New Mexico, maybe in the way future they would have a shot, but right now, no, sir. No, sir. I don't think it would happen. You have New Mexico State. I think they were accepted into Conference USA. It was either New Mexico. Yeah, it was New Mexico State. And then you have New Mexico, who's in the Mountain West. I don't know. I don't know about New Mexico. Maybe they do have a chance, small chance, and in the future. That's how I would describe New Mexico. Real quickly, if you're new to this channel and you don't know what's going on, I cover college football every single day, a little bit of college basketball during college basketball season. And believe it or not, hitting the subscribe button is actually free. Some people think that hitting the subscribe button actually costs money. It doesn't. It's free, and it helps grow the channel. So after New Mexico, we have North Dakota. A lot of people have suggested North Dakota because of North Dakota State owning the FCS. I'm not sure if their brand's big enough, and I think they're the ones that have the Kibbe Dome that holds like 8,000 fans. That's not a big stadium. They would definitely have to invest a lot of money into a new stadium. I don't see that stadium holding up. Definitely not the Big 10. Definitely not the Big 12, and definitely not the Pac-12. So right now, I would say that North Dakota State, out of the state of North Dakota, is off the table. They really have to. They need to put a lot of time and effort into that stadium situation. I know they're way up north, and the dome helps with that. So if you're going to go with the dome, you need to do something like Syracuse and have at least 45,000. 8 to 12,000 isn't going to cut it. P Digits, what's going on, bud? He says, what's up, GBD? Got the P.O. Box yet? Not yet. We're still raising the money through the PayPal. We will 100% have it before the college football season starts. We'll see how the P.O. Box thing goes. But for North Dakota, the weather is brutal up there, so they probably would need a dome, but it needs to be bigger than 8 to 12,000. I'm sorry, that's not going to cut it. On to Rhode Island. No, I don't see Rhode Island. Small school, no money, not going to happen. Same thing with South Dakota. They're actually in worse shape than North Dakota because at least North Dakota has North Dakota State that's really successful in the FCS. South Dakota doesn't have that. They're decent, but they're dominating like that. Wisconsin says Fario Dome is 20,000. I thought you might be right. I think I was thinking about the Kibbe Dome, which is Idaho. So you might be right about that, but still 20,000. That's not going to cut it. Yeah, I did get those two domes mixed up. The Kibbe Dome is Idaho, the Vandals. So you're right. You're absolutely right. But 20,000, they still need to work on that. I don't. Maybe it's one of those where they could take the roof off and expand it like that and put another roof on. I don't know what's cheaper, but they need to do something. Vermont, not even a point talking about Vermont. It's not going to happen ever. And then finally, Wyoming. You know, Wyoming's interesting. They have the potential, but the big problem with Wyoming is their brand. I think Wyoming, if I'm not mistaken, has the smallest population out of any state in the nation. Last time I checked, I think it was like under 60,000. Maybe it changed since the last time I looked at it. Not sure. But I'm pretty sure Wyoming has the smallest population out of any state in the United States. So I'm just not sure if their brand would be strong enough, and they would definitely have to add on to their stadium as well. So who has the best chance? That was the question we're asking. I would say top tier. Let me mark these off real quick, guys. Top tier, probably UConn, because they do have experience. I know their football program is trash right now, but I would put them in the top tier, along with Idaho because of Boise State. I'm kind of on the fence with Montana. I think they would have a shot, but in the future. So I'm not going to put them, and they would definitely need help, like going in with somebody. So I'm not going to put them on there. Nevada, I do think Nevada would be top tier for next in line to get a Power 5 school. The Wolfpack has been doing good, not really dominating the Mountain West, but doing really, really well, building a good brand. They need more fan support, though. If they want to get in the Big 12, which is where their destination would be, they need more fan support. But yeah, Nevada has a decent brand. I think it would be decent enough. Not sure about their stadium capacity. Let's see who's next. New Mexico didn't make the cut. New Hampshire, nope, not Rhode Island, South Dakota, Vermont, Wyoming. So the last one would be probably North Dakota. So the four teams on the top tier for me would be UConn, Idaho. Well, not teams, states. Excuse me, states. Connecticut, Idaho, Nevada, and North Dakota. Connecticut with UConn, of course. UConn does have a good basketball program that's in the Big East right now. But to get Power 5 status, they would need to get that football program up and running. And maybe the Big 12 would be willing to extend their footprint even more east if UConn can prove that they can make money for the Big 12. Maybe the ACC gets interested. That would be the only two options for UConn. And then with Idaho, everybody knows Boise State, probably truly the next team in line to get Power 5 status. So Idaho's definitely on that top tier. Talked about Nevada, and then finally North Dakota. With North Dakota State, location is their biggest issue, and their football stadium under 20,000 capacity. I just don't know. They do have the success, and Chris Klieman, the coach for Kansas State, came from North Dakota State. So, you know what? There is a link between the Big 12 and North Dakota State. North Dakota State would need to do some work. Don't get me wrong, but maybe that link would be strong enough to at least get the Big 12 talking to North Dakota State. The first step to getting that Power 5 status is you need the a Power 5 conference to be talking to you. So maybe that link, I know Chris Klieman had a lot of great things to say about North Dakota State. And of course, we all know that they dominate FCS. Every year, who's going to beat North Dakota State if somebody is going to beat North Dakota State for the FCS championship? That's the narrative every single year. So yeah, North Dakota State, I think, is on the top tier because of that situation. So those would be my four states that would be next in line to get a Power 5 status. Now, for the Big 12, in order for them to expand again, like Mike Gundy has been saying, Mike Gundy has predicted 14 teams within 5 years. So he's expecting 2 more teams in the next 5 years. But the question is, the commissioner for the Big 12, Bob Bowlesby, has just announced that he's going to step down. So who's going to replace Bob Bowlesby, and what kind of relationship will that replacement have with potential teams that maybe the Big 12 would want to expand with? So the Big 12 is in a state of transition right now, not only with Cincinnati, UCF, Houston, and BYU coming in, and Oklahoma and Texas going out. They're also going to be breaking in a new Big 12 commissioner. Now, I'm going to address something that I haven't talked about in a while because I've kind of put it on the back burner because the talks that I was hearing from my sources kind of died down. And that's West Virginia to the ACC. West Virginia and the ACC have, in fact, been talking. Not only have I talked to the same sources that I've been talking to about this, but I've also had other people that have heard me talk about it say that they talked to their sources and they confirmed it as well. The criteria for West Virginia to enter the ACC has been laid out. West Virginia has been actively trying to meet that criteria. The main criteria being expanding that airport and the academic requirements. Those were the 2 biggest things because West Virginia already has the brand. And one of the big things that I have talked about, but not really all that much, in fact, I made one video about it, was Maryland leaving the ACC for the Big 10. That's the biggest thing that kind of opened the door for West Virginia possibly making the jump to the ACC. So here's the situation that West Virginia's in right now, okay? And it really heated up whenever Oklahoma and Texas left, and everybody thought that the Big 12 could possibly fall apart. Well, then they go out and get BYU, Cincinnati, UCF, and Houston. So now West Virginia's in a position to where they're going to have an actual choice. And let me be clear about this. The ACC has turned down West Virginia in the past. Whenever the ACC formed, they turned down West Virginia because Maryland mainly, but also the Virginia school, Virginia. They wanted that spot for Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was not supposed to be one of the founding members for the ACC, and technically they're not, but they're listed as a founding member because they joined less than a year later, but they opened up that spot. They wanted it to be for Virginia Tech, and that was the doing of Virginia and Maryland. Well, yes, Virginia's still there, but Virginia Tech's also there, and Virginia Tech wants West Virginia. Yes, they do. And Maryland's gone. That was the biggest thing. Maryland's gone, and that's why West Virginia has the big opportunity now. And I know that sounds kind of far-fetched because Maryland's one team. How can one team have that much pull? Well, they were a founding member, and they did have that much pull. And the ACC, honestly, the ACC has a grudge against Maryland now because of that. Think, Maryland, founding member of the ACC, they leave the ACC that they were a member of for over 50 years or around 50 years and go over to the Big 10. So that kind of added on to the fuel that the ACC wanted West Virginia. I'm not going to say vendetta or revenge on Maryland, but that definitely doesn't hurt. Wanting to get back at somebody because they didn't want West Virginia in, knowing they didn't want West Virginia in, they screw you over and go over to the Big 10. I don't know. I mean, it definitely doesn't hurt the conversation, and it doesn't hurt the debate right there. So could that be a part of it? You know, trying to say, hey, look, Maryland, you didn't want West Virginia in. Well, you know what? We're taking West Virginia now. I don't know. It could be a part of the conversation. I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying it could be. There's a lot of things that go on to this. So, you know, the airport being expanded, and West Virginia is actively expanding the airport and the academics thing. And Gordon Gee, the president for West Virginia, is very, very familiar with Jim Phillips. In fact, they're pretty good friends. And the biggest thing about the academics is they weren't taking into account the fact that West Virginia doesn't have these sister schools to take the lower academics. All the other ACC schools do. Pretty much every other Power 5 school does. There might be a few Big 12 teams that doesn't because the Big 12 is kind of lax on that. But pretty much every other Power 5 school has these sister schools that they can send their lower academics to, and it doesn't hurt their academic rating or academic score. West Virginia doesn't have that, and they're very inclusive. They accept as many people as they can, and so it hurts their academic score. Well, according to my sources, Gordon Gee talked with Jim Phillips about that, and they took into account for that. And once whatever algorithm they used, I don't know how they did it, but once they took into account that we didn't have those sister schools, that the score is actually where it needs to be. But maybe they're trying to get some accreditation for some schools to be maybe a sister school or an affiliate for West Virginia. That way it can be official, and West Virginia can send their lower academics to those affiliated schools. I don't know the specifics of that situation. I'm just saying that makes sense. If that's one of the stipulations and it's doable, then why not try to get some of these universities that would be available to do that and get your academic score up. Name one such Pitt, Jeff Webster. Name one such university and its sister school, Pitt. And they have Duquesne. Well, Talk is Pitt. He's in the chat. He would be able to list all the Pitt sister schools, but Pitt has a ton. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think Towson is. I could be incorrect. The only reason I'm guessing Towson is because Talk is Pitt said that we play another affiliate of Pitt school this year. So I'm guessing it's Towson. I'm not sure. That's a total guess. But maybe John Waffle knows all the I label it sister schools. It could be called sister school, affiliate school, whatever. It's the schools that you can send your lower academics to. So John Waffle, if you know all the affiliates or whatever, you can list it. Or if Talk is Pitt is in the chat, you can list it. But, as far as the school, off the top of my head, Pitt, definitely a bunch of them. I think 4 or 5, if I'm not mistaken. So, maybe Towson is to Maryland. Okay, my bad. It's not Towson. I was just going by what Talk is Pitt said. He said we played an affiliate of Pitt in the regular season. Maybe he meant another school for another season. I'm not sure. I'd have to look into that. So Towson is for Maryland. So there's another school, John Waffle, Towson, an affiliate school for Maryland. I didn't realize that, but I guess if they're in Maryland, maybe they're not. Maybe they're just in Maryland. But I do know that Pitt has a ton of them. So, maybe West Virginia's working on that as well. I thought what was interesting is, I talked about the states that don't have a Power 5 school that maybe could in the future. What about the states that do have a Power 5 school? Who has the most? I was kind of surprised at this because I guess I really didn't just sit down and think about it. Alabama, and I'm going to try to go in alphabetical order because that's how I wrote it. Alabama, of course, they have Alabama and Auburn. Then there's Arizona. They have Arizona and Arizona State. Arkansas just has Arkansas. And then Cal. They actually have 4 Power 5 schools. They have UCLA, USC, Cal, and Stanford. But in the future, Cal could actually add Fresno State as a Power 5 school. I think, from what I've heard, the Big 12 would be interested in Fresno State and San Diego State to expand their footprint more west. So maybe we're looking at, and that's actually 2 schools, San Diego State. Then we bump down to Colorado. Right now, they only have Colorado, but Colorado State has also been mentioned as a school that the Big 12 has been thinking about maybe in the future. Maybe one of the schools that Mike Gundy was thinking about. It could be Colorado State and Boise State, Colorado State, San Diego State, whatever combo you can think of. And then next we have Florida. Right now they have Florida, Miami, and Florida State. But once UCF joins the Big 12, they're going to have 4 Power 5 schools. The state of Georgia, they have Georgia and Georgia Tech. The state of Illinois, they actually have 2 Power 5 schools. They have Illinois and Northwestern. I think Northwestern is close to Chicago, if I'm not mistaken. Indiana has 3. They have Indiana, Purdue, and Notre Dame. Iowa just has Iowa State. Kansas State. Louisiana just won, and that's LSU. Maryland just won, and that's Maryland. Massachusetts. People forget about Massachusetts. They have Boston College. Although I do think in the future it's a possibility that the ACC could end up dropping Boston College because Boston College isn't pulling their weight. Boston College was successful when they were accepted into the ACC, or maybe the ACC does keep them because of academics. I don't know. Either way. Michigan, they have 2. Michigan and Michigan State. Minnesota just has 1. That's Minnesota. Mississippi, they have 2. Ole Miss and Mississippi State, both in the SEC. Missouri has 1, and that's Missouri. Nebraska 1, that's Nebraska. New Jersey has 1 in Rutgers. How in the world Rutgers has survived being a Power 5 school this long, I have no idea. They've been absolute trash. The only thing that I can think of is, and we have gone back to it over and over again, freaking academics. That is the only reason that I can think of. And maybe their former head coach coming back, and they were successful under him. Maybe he can make a little run. And the ACC is doable. We'll see. New York has a Power 5 school. Syracuse. How many people in the chat remember Syracuse being a legit contender in the Big East? I remember like it was yesterday. Syracuse used to be the trap game every stinking year when it was a road game. Even when Syracuse isn't great, it's, for whatever reason, it's tough to beat Syracuse in that Carrier Dome. They say that it doesn't have any air conditioning. Maybe that's one of the things that makes that home field advantage so great. But yeah, Syracuse in the state of New York, Power 5 school, very difficult road trip. Very uncomfortable road trip. How about that? State of North Carolina, 4 Power 5 schools. North Carolina, Wake Forest, NC State, and Duke. And there's 2 other teams in the state of North Carolina that maybe in the future could grab a Power 5 status. And that's East Carolina and Appalachian State. And I would say that they're not all that far off. I think the ACC in the future will probably think about East Carolina and Appalachian State. But that's if what Dabo Swinney said doesn't come true. He thinks that in the future, it's going to be like the top 40, 50 teams break off from the NCAA and have their own national championship. So if that happens, no chance. State of Ohio. Right now, it's just Ohio State, but once Cincinnati joins the Big 12, that'll be 2. P. Digit says, don't forget about Charlotte. Yeah, but I think Charlotte's a little farther off. Charlotte's up and coming. Don't get me wrong. They're definitely up and coming. But I think they're a little farther off as far as grabbing Power 5 status than Appalachian State and East Carolina. They just joined the AAC with a bunch of other teams. So that's another step up, but I don't know. I'd have to really think about that to really figure out if they would be on the same level, especially Appalachian State. They've been impressive recently. All right. State of Oklahoma. They have Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Maybe in the future, Tulsa. That would give them 3. The state of Oregon has Oregon and Oregon State. Honestly, Oregon State, if you look at their facilities and their stadium, I don't know if they should be in a Power 5 conference. I mean, I think the last time I checked, it was between 35,000 and 40,000 their capacity. It's bad. The only reason Oregon State was even in JT Daniels' top 3 was because that's closer to his home. But he said he was going to make his decision later in April, but he made the decision 3 days after he went to West Virginia. So I think that combination of Graham Harrell and JT Daniels was stronger than we thought. I think he made his decision before he even came to West Virginia, but he still had to make the official visit. facilities were up to standard. And with that relationship with Graham Harrell, it was a no-brainer. And that's why in just 3 days he made his announcement. Pennsylvania has Pitt and Penn State. That's pretty strong. The state of South Carolina has Clemson and South Carolina. Tennessee has two. They have Vanderbilt and Tennessee. In the future, possibly Memphis. They have a good backer in FedEx, but they're going to have to do something with the Liberty Bowl. That stadium is trash. Kentucky, out of alphabetical order, has Kentucky and Louisville. Is there anybody Kentucky could add? I don't think Western Kentucky. I don't think so. Not Bowling Green. No, I don't think there's any other for Kentucky to add. Then we have Texas. Texas has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Power 5 teams in Texas. Texas Tech, Texas A&M, Baylor, and TCU. And Houston will be a Power 5, so that'll make 6. UTS, their brand is getting stronger. That could make 7. And who knows, maybe even UTEP. That would make 8. Think about that, 8. 6 definitely. 7 probable in the near future, and maybe an outside chance of 8. We'll see. And then after Texas, the state of Utah. They definitely have Utah. Is BYU a Power 5 school right now? I mean, if you look at their schedule, they play mostly Power 5. It's about 50-50 as far as if you actually ask people, hey, do you consider BYU a Power 5? Some say yes, some say no. Either way, Utah at least has one, and that's Utah. State of Virginia has Virginia and Virginia Tech. Some people have been hinting at Old Dominion. I think they have a while to go, so I'm not sure about that. State of Washington has Washington and Washington State. I don't know. Gonzaga doesn't have a very good football program. Great basketball program, but FCS football. West Virginia, 1, and that's West Virginia. Marshall in the future? Maybe. I don't know. And then finally, Wisconsin, they have 1, and that's Wisconsin. So, and yes, when I mentioned Florida, I said Florida, Miami, and Florida State. UCF, that'll make 4 when they get to the Big 12. FAU, they still have a ways to go, but yeah, they definitely have some potential in the future. South Florida, man, they were close at one time, but they've really fallen off. So I'm really not sure about South Florida. If we're talking about the South Florida that was back in the Big East, that got all the way up to number 2 at one time after they beat West Virginia, then I would say yes. But South Florida right now, I don't know. El Capitan says Gonzaga doesn't even play football. There you go. So Gonzaga is a no-go, not happening. All right, so top 4 states. Connecticut with UConn, Idaho with Boise State, Nevada with Nevada, and North Dakota with North Dakota State as far as getting a team actually in the Power 5. There's a bunch of states that could get a new Power 5, but those are states that don't have one and probably have the best chances of getting one. So, you know what? People really like talking about this, so I'm going to go ahead and make that video tomorrow. Got a good reaction out of you guys, so I think it'll be a successful video. But I still wanted to run it by y'all, and because in my head it seemed like one, but it's one of those ideas where it could go either way. So from the reaction that I got from you guys, I think it's going to be a good video. Yeah, Marquette can't do football either. Yes, that is a fact. So if you've never seen a Gold and Blued live show, you're like, hey, what's this? Why did this get recommended? Well, first of all, I appreciate all of my subscribers and all my viewers hitting that like button. That's what did it. That's what got this thing suggested. And this is a college football YouTube channel. When March Madness rolls around, we do some college basketball, but this is mainly college football. So if you like college football, this is the channel. Hit the subscribe button. Free. Doesn't cost a thing. Me and Joey were talking earlier. There are some people that think that hitting that subscribe button costs money. It doesn't. I promise. Now, we have other avenues that do, but that's extra perks like the Patreon page, the Super Chat, the PayPal. Yes, that does cost money, but that's extra. That's your choice. Hitting the subscribe button just grows the channel. It doesn't cost you a thing, and it gives you access to all the videos. And if you hit the bell, you get notified. So that's what we do here at Gold and Blued, college football. So if that's what you love, I promise you this is the channel for you. I understand your sickness. It's a long off season. I'm here to get you through it. And those of you that have been on the fence about the merchandise, I got the t-shirts today, and I think they're pretty good. So I think it's worth at least a visit. Here's the other one. I've been wearing it. So I think the merchandise store is at least worth a visit and check it out. And it's not just t-shirts, it's a bunch of stuff. But I'm super excited about it. I am pumped about it. High quality. So I'm going to get me a hoodie and see how good the quality on that. See, that's what I'm doing for you guys. Quality inspecting. And I can tell you, at least for the t-shirts, high quality. I'm excited about that. And by the way, if you haven't gotten a koozie, that's these. I'm actually sending these away for free. I have a limited surprise. I have a limited supply. So if you want a free koozie, including postage, I'm going to pay for it. If you want a free koozie, all you have to do is email me your name and your address, and I will send it out to you. So Yvette or Joey, put my email in the chat section. That way they can email me and I'll send it out. Nicholas Christensen. I think I got that right. Nicholas Christensen says, I get my college bait fix at Golden Bluted. Yeah, here recently I've been accused of clickbaiting, which is not true. I do indulge a little bit, but I appreciate it anyways. That's still support. Ray Finkel's house says, Go Stallions. Go Stallions. I should know that off the top of my head, but I have no idea who the Stallions are. Who are the Stallions, Ray Finkel's house? I have no idea who that is. Let's see. Mattress 68. Don't judge WV solely on recent history. They are top 15 for wins. That's total wins and top 25 in winning percentage. Yes. Past 40 years in particular will be back. I agree with that. SMU Stallions. For some reason, I thought SMU was Mustangs. Birmingham. Okay, I got you. Birmingham Mustangs. Stallions. SMU Mustangs. We got it figured out, guys. We got it figured out. Anyways, I got some good feedback from my video idea, so I'm going to go forward with that. Because of my son's baseball game, we've had to push the Patreon video more and more and more. So tomorrow, I was going to do it this evening, but I have some things I have to deal with my kids. They're being very hyper right now. So tomorrow, you know what? I'm going to ask my Patreons what the best time is, but it's going to be tomorrow, probably 7, 8 o'clock. But great live show. I appreciate everybody stopping by. Notre Dame fan Michael Campbell says, make a 8-4 and 7-5 t-shirt for Notre Dame betting and see if it sells. I would have to see if that would fit in the branding. If it fits in the branding, I might do it. So not a bad idea. Not a bad idea. We'll see. What he's referring to is I made a prediction for Notre Dame saying they're going to be either 8-4, 7-5. And because I was wrong, who was it? Notre Dame and I was wrong about a prediction about Notre Dame last year, so I'm going to be wrong about them this year. Good back and forth stuff here. I love it. Awesome. Sorgy Story says, GBD, should the Big East bring back football in FCS? UConn could move to FCS, and Nova, Georgetown, and Butler are already there. That's up to the Big East. I don't really have that big of an opinion. I'd have to look at all the schools that are in the Big East. So yeah, I don't know about the my actual opinion about that. I don't know enough about it. Anyways, guys, I'm about to get off here, but I appreciate everybody that stopped by. Awesome stuff. Didn't expect the live show to do this well. It did awesome. If you're not a subscriber of Golden Blooded, hit the subscribe button. I swear it's absolutely free, even though some people think that it's not free. It is 100% free. Hit the like button on the way out, and the video will keep growing. And I appreciate everybody that did. Obviously, you did, because this thing blew up fast. So I appreciate everybody that did that. Dustin Salt says, you're the man. No, you're the man. I'm just the guy. I'm just the face and the voice. Y'all are Golden Blooded. Y'all are the man. So, yeah. Like or dislike. Yeah, either way. Anyways, guys, I'm out of here. Patreon's live show tomorrow. And if you're not a Patreon, check it out. as low as $2 a month to be a Patreon. That is spare change that you can find around the house. $2 a month. And you have access to the live shows. All right, guys, I'm getting out of here. Y'all have a good rest of your weekend. All right. Make sure that you have a good rest of your weekend. I try, I work hard at going to Bluetooth, but you got to enjoy some of the weekend at least. All right. So make sure to try and do that. Relax. Have a good time. If you like beer, drink you some beer. All right. Hang out with some friends. Make the most of life and enjoy the rest of your weekend. I'm out, guys. Golden Bluetooth is out. Another video coming tomorrow.